مهما تصورت لذلك فالله لا يشبه ذلك، ومن وصف الله بمعنى من معاني البشر فقد كفر. وأشهد أن سيدنا وعظيمنا وقائدنا وقرة أعيننا محمدا عبد الله ورسوله ونبيه وصفيه وحبيبه وخليله، أرسله الله هدى ورحمة للعالمين، هاديا ومبشرا ونذيرا وداعيا إلى الله بإذنه سراجا وهاجا وقمرا منيرا. اللهم صل وسلم وأعظم وأنعم وأكرم على هذا النبي الكريم سيدنا محمد خاتم النبيين، كلما ذكره الذاكرون وغفل عن ذكره الغافلون. الصلاة والسلام عليك يا سيدي يا رسول الله، الصلاة والسلام عليك يا سيدي يا حبيب الله، الصلاة والسلام عليك يا سيدي يا عظيم الجاه. أما بعد فنذكر أنفسنا بإخلاص النية لله تعالى في حضور هذا المجلس، مجلس علم الدين، المجلس الذي وصفه الرسول صلى الله عليه وسلم بأنه روضة من رياض الجنة، والمجلس الذي تحفه الملائكة فتنزل فيه الرحمات والبركات والإسرار، والمجلس الذي ينال المسلم المخلص فيه ثوابا جزيلا. فإن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم قال: يا أبا ذر، لأن تغدو فتتعلم بابا من العلم خير لك من أن تصلي 1000 ركعة، أي من النوافل التامات. فهنيئا لمن وفقه الله تعالى لهذا العمل العظيم. I praise Allah, I glorify Him, and I thank Him for all the blessings that He gives, without Him being obligated to give anything. And I ask Allah Ta'ala to raise the rank of our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam and to protect his Muslim nation.
Assalamu alaikum everyone. Last Wednesday I make an announcement and I forgot to do it today again. Please, for the lesson and for the prayers, all the kids has to go inside the room. All the kids has to go inside the room, please. We have to pay attention to the lesson and for the prayer too. If I see any kids outside, it's not the parents not taking care of them, I'm coming myself to take my hand for them inside. I can see 2 or 3 kids screaming out in the back. Please take them to the room inside. We're not going to repeat that. Thank you very much. And please don't forget to clean after you. I can see a lot of plates on the floor. Barakallahu feekum.
I praise Allah, I glorify Him, and I thank Him for all the blessings that He gives, without Him being obligated to give anything. And I ask Allah Ta'ala to raise the rank of our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam and to protect His Muslim nation. I testify that no one deserves to be worshipped except Allah, the one without a partner, the one without an equal, the one without a similar, the one who is unlike anything in the universe, and nothing in the universe is like Him. He has no father, no mother, no sister, no brother, no son, and no daughter. He exists without time and place because He is the creator of time and place. He does not reside above the throne, and He is not attributed with fatigue like the Jews say. Our Lord is glorified beyond any imperfection that the non-Muslims attribute to Him. Whatever you imagine in your mind, Allah Ta'ala does not resemble that. And whoever attributes and attributed the creations to Allah is outside of Islam. And I testify that Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, the son of Abdullah, the son of Abdul Muttalib, the son of Hashim, the son of Abdul Manaf, from the tribe of Quraysh, is the best creation of Allah and His final prophet and messenger, sent to all humans and jinn, and He is truthful about everything He conveyed of the revelation. Thereafter, we remind ourselves to have the sincere intention for the sake of Allah in attending this session of Islamic knowledge, because having a sincere intention is a requirement to get the reward. So the Muslim, whenever he does a good deed, he has to have the sincere intention for the sake of Allah to get reward for that good deed. The reward is defined as the compensation that the Muslim receives in the hereafter for the good deeds that he did in this life among what makes him happy. An example of the reward that is guaranteed to the righteous Muslim in the grave is that his grave is expanded approximately 105 feet by 105 feet, and his grave is illuminated with a light similar to the light of the full moon, and the fragrance of paradise will be present in the grave. The sincere intention means for the Muslim to do the good deed, seeking the acceptance of Allah only, and not the praise of the people. So alhamdulillah, we are grateful to Allah that we have been guided to Islam. We are grateful and thankful and happy that our hearts have been opened to Islam, and that our hearts are pleased with Islam. And we are grateful and thankful to Allah that we have been guided to have access to the authentic knowledge, the connected and verified knowledge that comes through the tradition of Ahlul Sunnah, directly from the Prophet ﷺ, passed on generation after generation until reaching our times. And that preservation of the knowledge is something that will continue as long as there are Muslims on the earth. Because the Prophet ﷺ, he is the final prophet and messenger sent to this world, and so the information and the revelation that was given to him and that he transmitted to us, it will remain on the earth as long as there are Muslims on the earth, so that there will always be a way for the people to know the truth. And so that is the key to success. The way to success is by following the teachings of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. There is no other way, and there is no shortcut, and there is no special, entitled, special status given to someone because of their nationality or their gender or their race or their social class or the country that they were born or the color of their skin or how much they weigh or how tall they are. Nothing like that makes someone better than another person. Only following the Prophet ﷺ is what makes someone better. So the one who follows the Prophet better, the one who is the better Muslim, that's the one who's better. And someone cannot be a better Muslim without knowledge. The human being, the individual, he cannot be successful and be saved in the hereafter and be amongst the people of paradise while being ignorant. The individual has to learn. So by learning, the person knows that in order to be saved from going to hell forever, the person has to be a Muslim. And in order to be guaranteed that the person will never get tortured or pain and will never know sadness after death, in order to have that guarantee, the person has to be a pious Muslim. So the Muslim, if he's not pious, he gets the guarantee of eventually going to paradise. Because the Muslim, if he commits sins and he dies without repenting, he might get tortured. So some Muslims will go to hell for the sins that they did, but they don't stay in hell forever. They exit after some time because they died as Muslims. Some Muslims, they die with no sin because they feared Allah, because they were pious, because they followed the Prophet ﷺ perfectly, and they were Muslims who obeyed. And those Muslims that died without any sin, they are guaranteed to have safety from the time of death until no end. So they will never be afraid. They will never know pain. They will never know sadness from the moment of death until no end. That's for the pious Muslim. And there are pious Muslims that exist. Still to this day, there are some pious Muslims, but they are rare. The majority of Muslims are sinners. So, but at least the Muslim, if he dies with the correct creed while being Muslim, he has the hope for mercy. He will get mercy. because even the Muslim that goes to hell, he won't stay there forever. But the one who dies without an Islam, this one, he gets no mercy. The one who is sane, pubescent, and has received the basic message of Islam, the accountable person, and they die without being Muslim, those are the ones that go to hell forever. And they go to hell forever because they failed and they neglected to do the most important deed, the number one good deed, which is to be Muslim. So this is the top priority, alhamdulillah. And in order to achieve these things, the person has to have knowledge, which is why we began throughout this month of Ramadan, for all the times that we have the iftar gathering here in the Musalla, the lesson will be about the obligatory knowledge. This knowledge that every accountable person must know. And with that knowledge, no matter who you are and where you are, if you apply it and you implement it and you adhere to it for yourself, for your own soul, then you will be a person, a Muslim with a high status. Regardless of your origin and regardless of your social class and regardless of how much money you have in the bank and regardless of anything else, if you have this knowledge and you implement it, you will have a high status to Allah, to the Creator of the universe. And that is greater than anything that you can get in this world. Nobody in this world can give you something even close to that. To be accepted by God. No human being on this earth can give you that. What we can give you, or what we can give each other, and what is our duty, right? Because there's no gatekeeping when it comes to this knowledge, the obligatory knowledge. There's no gatekeeping. Maybe for these books over here, you see these volumes of books, the hadith and the tafsir, these deep sciences, these elevated sciences. Maybe you have to have a certain qualification to even sit in those sessions, to be a student of those scholars that give that knowledge. Yes, of course, because you have to be eligible in that sense, spiritually. But for this knowledge here, this obligatory knowledge that we all need to have, there's no gatekeeping. So we give each other that knowledge because we have to, it's our duty, we're obligated. And the person that takes it, they can strive to be a pious Muslim. And that is greater than anything that any person can give you. So this material that we're going over is called the obligatory knowledge. And this particular book that we've been going over, it was authored by a great scholar and a great righteous Muslim that he passed away in the year 2008 on the second day of Ramadan, rahimahullah. And this book basically contains that knowledge in a way that is easy for the person to absorb and to consume and to understand. And because of the sincere efforts of that great scholar, there have been many glad tidings, good news, these like good signs that appeared in this life for those that adhere to that book. So we're going to mention one of them. So among these signs, they're the good dreams. Because the Prophet ﷺ, he informed us that after he passes away, there's not going to be any more revelation that descends upon a human being, because he's the final prophet, and only the prophets receive revelation. But what will remain is the good news. What is the good news? A good dream. So a woman from a family that is known as Mansur, she saw in the dream that it was Judgment Day, and she saw that the people who are dear to that scholar, to that sheikh, to our sheikh, the people that love him and the people that are close to him, that they were standing in rows, in long rows, and the Prophet ﷺ was there, and was with the Prophet, the Prophet and the sheikh were there. and they were standing at the doors of paradise. And every time one of the people who loved the Shaykh, they came to enter the doors of paradise, the Prophet ﷺ, he handed that person this book that contains this knowledge, which is called the summary. And then he entered paradise. What does that mean? It means that learning this book gets you to paradise. And that that is a sign, that good dream is a sign that the one who takes this book, he's on the right path. So alhamdulillah, that's what we're doing throughout this Ramadan, that we're striving to do that. So whoever's following along, and we're going to read from page 15 of the English copy. The author said, "It is obligatory upon all accountable persons to embrace the religion of Islam, to remain steadfast to it, and to comply with what is obligatory upon them of its rules." So this is the first main judgment. The first is, every accountable person has to be Muslim. And every accountable person has to, once they become Muslim, they have to remain steadfast toward Islam. They have to have the firm intention that they're always going to be Muslim, that they're never going to leave Islam, and they have to comply with the Islamic law. Because the Islamic law is revealed by the Creator of the universe. That is what the Creator of the universe judged that we must do. What is permissible, what is forbidden, what is praised, what is dispraised, what is beautiful, what is ugly. This is how we judge. We don't judge by our own opinion or by our own preference or by our own perspective. Because some people like coffee, some people like tea. Who's to say which one is better? Me, you, they, them? No. It's what the religion judged. So if there is a judgment, or if there is a way religiously to arrive to the result of which one is better, then we say that that's better. And we don't say, oh, coffee is better because of this, or tea is better because of that. It's all just opinions. So that's how we judge. We judge by what God revealed. So who is the accountable person? When we say accountable, this is terminology. So accountable means that the person is sane, meaning they're not insane. Pubescent means that they've reached pubescence Islamically, and that they have received the basic message of Islam. What is the basic message of Islam? No one deserves to be worshipped except the Creator, and Muhammad is his messenger. That's the basic message. So if there's a person that's sane, and they, let's say, are 20 years old, and someone came to them and told them, no one is God except the Creator, and Muhammad is his messenger, and they understand these words. They're not saying it in a foreign language. They understand those words. That person is now accountable. So what does that mean if that person is now accountable? If he's not Muslim, the first thing he has to do is become Muslim. Right away, immediately, without delay. And if he's already Muslim, then what he has to do is just adhere to al-Islam. Because that's the scenario that happens. Someone is born to Muslim parents, they have the belief, they've already been exposed to the basic message, they're already sane, but what's left for them is to become pubescent. Once they become pubescent, now they're accountable. Now, if they commit a sin, it gets written against them, etc. So what they have to do, they're already Muslim, they just have to adhere to the rules. If the person is accountable and not a Muslim, the first thing that they have to do is become Muslim. And how does that happen? How does someone become Muslim? They have to believe in their heart and utter with their tongue. They have to believe in their heart firmly, without any doubt, that no one is God except the Creator, and Muhammad is his messenger, and then they have to say it with their tongue. This is the only way to become Muslim, in the normal circumstance. Like if someone is able to talk, or they're able to say words, this is how you become Muslim. There is no other way to become Muslim. So there has to be that belief in the heart with the verbal affirmation, the verbal statement, if the person is able to speak. If they're not able to speak, then there's other ways. So, and this statement can be said in any language. It doesn't have to be said in Arabic. So if you see sometimes on social media, you see the people that they're going to embrace Islam, or that they have already, and that they're saying the words, they make them say it in Arabic. This is not necessary. It's good to do it if the person is able to do it, but it's not necessary. Because embracing Islam is something serious. It's something that has to be done immediately, without delay. It's not like the person says, oh, I want to become Muslim, and then somebody tells him, yeah, meet me next Friday and then we'll do it together. No, it has to be right away, immediately. If the person says, I want to become Muslim, he tells them how to say these words right away, without delay. He doesn't tell him, go home and take a bath first. He doesn't tell him, go home and think about it. No, he has to embrace Islam right away. Why? Because blasphemy is the biggest sin. And to be a Muslim is the biggest good deed. So this is the first thing that the person has to do, is to be a Muslim. So if you hear about or see, which that occurs a lot on social media or anywhere in other places where people are ignorant, they tell the person, go home and take a bath. They tell the person, come next Friday to the mosque and do it in front of everyone. This is invalid, this is incorrect, this is misguided. Because the person that wants to become Muslim, they want to leave out blasphemy. And so you cannot delay someone from doing that, because blasphemy is the worst. It's the biggest sin. So you have to tell them right away to leave it out. And so by accepting for them to remain on a state of blasphemy, this itself is blasphemy. So this is the consequence of ignorance. This is what happens when the knowledge of Islam is not applied. So what is the meaning of that statement? No one is God except the Creator, and Muhammad is His messenger. Or I testify that no one is God except the Creator, and Muhammad is His messenger. What is the meaning of that? The meaning of I testify that no one is God except the Creator is I know, I believe, and I declare that nothing is worshipped rightfully except Allah. So this name, Allah, it's a revealed name. And it is the proper name of the Creator. And it itself, that name, Allah, it means the one attributed with Godhood. And what is Godhood? And some people might say divinity. What is the meaning of that? The meaning of that is the power, being attributed with the power to create. Possessing the power to create. And this is what we confirm for the Creator only. And we negate it from anybody else. So no one other than the Creator has the power to create. Therefore, no one other than the Creator deserves to be worshipped. So this is the connection. So you hear other people like Christians and Jews, you hear that they say that they believe in God. They say that, they claim that. But we say, that's your claim is not correct. It's not true. Because what you worship, what you claim is God, is really a creation. So the Christians, they worship a man, they worship Prophet Jesus, alayhi salam, and also they worship something that they believe is in the sky. They say, our Father, who is in heaven. They believe that there's a big, giant, old man, and they even say themselves, the Christians themselves, they say it all the time, they say the old man upstairs. They say, if the man upstairs, that belief is blasphemy, because whatever is a man, whatever is upstairs, whatever is in heaven, is a creation. Yani, not the Creator. Yani, meaning it does not have the power to create. So whatever is upstairs is like me. Whatever is upstairs does not deserve to be worshipped, because whatever is upstairs is a creation, is not the Creator. And so what we say when we say La ilaha illallah, which is the Arabic statement, which means no one is God except the Creator, we're saying only the Creator is God, meaning only the Creator deserves to be worshipped. So not a creation, not an imaginary person or an imaginary old man upstairs, not a prophet like Prophet Jesus alayhi salam, not the fire, not the devil, not Buddha, not also an imaginary person that supposedly got tired after the 6th day and needed to rest, right? Because that's what the Jews say. They say that God got tired after 6 days and He needed to rest on the 7th day. So that thing that they claim, that they themselves say, we're not putting words in their mouth. They say that, they believe that, and they say other things too. The Jews, not only do they say that God got tired, right? This is confirmed about them. They say other things too. They say that God has a mouth. They say all other types of things. So all of that is what? A creation. Whatever has a mouth is a creation. Whatever has body parts is a creation. Whatever has a hand is a creation. Whatever has a face is a creation. So this is why in Islam we have this polarizing statement. It's not a statement of everybody's right. It's a statement of no one is God except Allah. So if someone worships something other than Allah, yani other than the Creator, then what they are worshipping is invalid. It's not worshipped rightfully. That's why the author said, I know, I believe, and I declare that nothing is worshipped rightfully except Allah. Yani, nothing is worshipped validly except Allah. Because some people, they do worship statues, like the Hindus, na'udhu billah. These people, they are, for lack of a shorter word that I cannot say, they are despicable in the way that they believe. They worship rats. They worship cows. They worship all sorts of things. They have you've seen those cats. If you go to eat sushi, you see the cat next to the register, and it has the hand like this that moves. And they have a sign that says, don't touch. Right? Because they worship that. And sometimes you see also, when you go get sushi, they have the statue of it's like a thing with like 6 hands. And they put it on the shelf, like right up here, like somewhere high up, and they put fruits. I've never seen one that they have Buddha, but usually the Chinese have it. But the others, they have the 6-armed one, and they have the cat. I know you've seen the cat. It's a cat with a hand that moves back and forth. And they put a sign on it, don't touch, because they worship that. So some people do worship creations. Some people do worship the devil. Some people do worship the fire. Some people do worship the demons. Some people do worship statues and pictures and things like that. Some people do worship trees, and some people worship the sun and the moon and the stars. But those things that they worship, they don't deserve to be worshipped. Why not? Why don't those things deserve to be worshipped? Because they can't create. That statue of the cat, it's not God. It doesn't deserve to be worshipped. It can't create anything. It's an inanimate object. The sun and the moon and the stars, they don't deserve to be worshipped because they don't create anything. They didn't make themselves. They didn't make this world. They have a creator. Prophet Jesus, alayhi salam, even though he is a creation with a high status and he is an honored creation, he does not deserve to be worshipped because still he is a creation. He does not create anything. So that's what that statement, La ilaha illallah, nothing deserves to be worshipped except Allah. Only the Creator deserves to be worshipped. So this statement, the meaning of that statement is so deep and profound, but it can be summarized in that short sentence. I know, meaning this is fact. I know this, like I know, for example, my name, meaning with certainty. Like when I look at the wall, I see that it's white. I know this. I believe, I accept that thing that I know. Right? So you can see, I can know that the wall is white, but someone might be stubborn, right? Aren't there some sick people in this world that are delusional? And they might reject. They see something in front of them, and they'll still reject it. And they'll still negate it. That's because of arrogance. That's because of diseases of the heart. So just because you know something doesn't mean you believe it. So I know means I know this to be a fact. I'm certain. I believe means I accept that thing that I know. And I declare with my tongue, I verbalize that nothing is worshipped rightfully except Allah. Allah, the proper name of the Creator. متى نصلي حاج ربع. Okay. ماشي. So it's important to know when we say Allah, the meaning of it means the one who is attributed with Godhood. And so this Creator, He is attributed with attributes of perfection. And He is attributed with all proper perfection. And He is clear of all imperfection. But there are certain attributes that we are obligated to know as accountable Muslims. Each and every one of us has to know the meanings or these attributes. Every single one of us has to know that Allah is attributed with these attributes. So it's our obligation. We have to know that. So these attributes are existence, al-wujud. So existence means that the Creator, His existence is confirmed and without a doubt. And His existence is unlike ours. Oneness, al-wahdaniyya. It means that the Creator, He is the only Creator. Meaning that there is no other Creator. And oneness, He is unique. He is the only one who has no beginning. He is the only one who is clear of all imperfection. He is the only one who has the power to create. And the oneness is not in the context of multiplicity, numbers, not in the context of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In the context of singular. He's the only one that is the Creator. Al-Qidam, al-Azaliyya, eternity. So we have to believe that the Creator of the universe, He's the only one that has no beginning to His existence. And this is, for us, the Muslims, one of our strongest evidence. Easy to use in any conversation with any person of any level, from a 7-year-old to a 20-year-old to an 80-year-old. Someone that is educated with a PhD, without a PhD, with a diploma. Any person can understand this. Only the Creator has no beginning. Everything else has a beginning. That is the definition of a creation, to have a beginning. So this solves, for us the Muslims, this solves many of the so-called mysteries of the world. Like the so-called scientists. They're trying to figure out the universe and they can't understand, and they say they have all these theories, which is just a bunch of lies and a bunch of hallucination, imagination, making things up. They make things up. These people, they have no shame. They make things up because they don't want to admit that God exists. And it's so simple. This universe and everything that you see, and the planets and the stars and what they call the galaxies and all these things that you see, they have a beginning. It's not something hard. You don't need to be Einstein to figure it out. You don't have to be Oppenheimer and draw on a board to figure this one out. Everything that you see around you is a series of events. It's things that are going from state to state, changing. And whatever changes has a beginning. Because whatever changes, that means that it's initiated, it's started, it has a beginning point. But the Creator has no beginning point. Now, of course, that's not something that you can imagine. That's not something that you can touch and taste. Because the scientists, they're obsessed with these things. They're obsessed with touching and tasting. They say if you can't touch it and you can't taste it, it doesn't exist. Na'udhu billah. These people, you ask them, have you seen your mind? Have you touched and tasted your mind? They'll say no. But even if you do some research, this is confirmed in the scientific community, that they don't have an agreed upon definition of the mind. They can't tell you what the mind is. You can't say it's the brain, right? Because the brain is just an organ. Because like your eye, your eye is the organ that you use for seeing. But your eye is not your seeing. So they can't even define the mind. So do they deny that they have a mind? If they do, then we don't have a conversation with mindless people. But if they say they do have a mind, well then now you've confirmed something that you haven't touched or tasted. Subhanallah. But you see, they have this double standard because they just follow their desire. Everlastingness. The Creator is attributed with everlastingness. That means His existence does not come to an end. Non-neediness of others means that the Creator does not need anything. He doesn't need our worship. He doesn't need our belief. He doesn't need our obedience. And everything needs Him. Oh yes, that's right. Even the atheist scientist needs God. Everything in this universe needs the Creator for every single second and every single moment. And the Creator needs none. Power, al-Qudrah. This means that the Creator is attributed with a perfect and complete power. What does that mean, a perfect and complete power? It means that the Creator is not attributed with impotence. He's not attributed with inability, weakness. And so, God's attribute of power is the attribute by which He makes the mental possibilities exist and not exist. His attribute of power is the power by which He makes creations be and He makes creations not be. So whatever is a mental possibility, then this is God's attribute of power applies to it. And so whatever is not a mental possibility, then it is not a subject of God's power. Will, God is attributed with will. That means everything that occurs in this world occurs by His will. And so it's important to know, God's will is not the same as God's command. God commanded everyone to obey. Does everyone obey? No. God commanded everyone to believe. Does everyone believe? No. But God willed for some people to believe and for some people not to believe. So God's command is not the same as God's will. God willed for everything to be the way He knew it was going to be. Everything exists in this universe according to His will, in accordance with His eternal knowledge. What does that mean? That means God knew all the decisions that you were going to make before you even existed. So God willed for you to be how He knew you were going to be. And you're going to be judged for those decisions. God is attributed with knowledge. That means He knows everything. Nothing is hidden from His knowledge. God is attributed with hearing. Nothing is hidden from His hearing, and it's not through sound or sound waves or an ear or anything like that, anything physical. God is attributed with sight without the need of an organ, without the need of an eye, without the need of light, and nothing escapes His sight. God is attributed with life, which is unlike our life. It's not composed of flesh, blood, bones, or a soul. God is attributed with al-kalam, which is His eternal and everlasting attribute by which He orders, promises, and forbids. That is not a sound letter or language. And God is attributed with non-resemblance to the creation, which means whatever you imagine in your mind, God does not resemble that. And inshallah, tomorrow also we'll continue with that and going further into this very valuable and precious knowledge. We ask Allah Ta'ala to make us die as perfect Muslims and to make our final words La ilaha illallah Muhammadun Rasulullah Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Barakallahu feekum.
بارك الله فيك شيخ خوسي أحمد.